नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका हमारे चैनल में। तो जैसे कि आज आप देख रहे हैं, हमने पहले सीक्वल के बारे में बेसिक वीडियो बनाया था जिसमें हमने सीक्वल क्या है और उसको कैसे इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं, उसमें कमांड्स क्या है, डेटा टाइप क्या है और डेटाबेस कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, टेबल कैसे क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, क्वेरीज कैसे रन कर सकते हैं, ये सब चीज़ों को हमने देखा था। ठीक है, काफ़ी सारे कमांड्स देखे थे, DDL क्या है, DML क्या है, DCL क्या है और थोड़ी बहुत क्वेरीज भी की थी। हमने डेटा टाइप भी देखे थे। और अगर आप आगे जाओगे तो आज हम ये भी हमने देखा था कि सीक्वल ऑपरेटर्स क्या है, एंड कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हैं और कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हैं और नॉट भी। आज हम कवर करने वाले हैं सीक्वल में वाइल्ड कार्ड कैरेक्टर्स है, उसको आप कैसे यूज़ कर सकते हो। जो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे तो दो एग्जांपल हमने लिए, एक परसेंटेज है, एक अंडरस्कोर है। परसेंटेज क्या होता है, वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट करता है, बेसिकली वो 0 और 1 को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, मल्टीपल कैरेक्टर्स को भी रिप्रेजेंट करता है। अंडरस्कोर खाली सिंगल कैरेक्टर को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, तो ये हम कवर करने वाले हैं। और टाइम रहा तो हम यहाँ पे कंस्ट्रेंट के बारे में भी कवर करने वाले हैं। अगर आपको कोई भी इंटरव्यू में पूछेगा, ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल होता है, तो ध्यान रखिएगा। अगर सीक्वल का अगर आप इंटरव्यू आता है और कोई क्वेश्चन निकलेगा कि डू यू नो कंस्ट्रेंट, हाउ मेनी कंस्ट्रेंट आर देयर इन सीक्वल, सो यू नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट वी हैव ऑलमोस्ट 6 constraint in the SQL: not null, default, unique, primary, check and index are the most important constraint in the SQL. So from that you can answer that question easily. So without taking much of your time, and we do not want to expand the size of this video, so let's move to the query part. So first we'll begin with the our old database what we have created, and we're going to run the query for the wildcard character which we thought cover over here. So basically we will going to run a query, right? So with the wildcard character, we will going to run a query, and we will try to extract the information based on certain conditions. Okay, so let's check that. Okay, so we will going to run a query whose name will be come from particular letter. So if you see over here, we have common two common letters, first beginning which is an R. So let's run a query from the letter R, how we can extract only two of the records from this entire list of the information where anyone's name is coming beginning with the R letter. Okay, so how we can write query for that? We need to write a query like this: select star from employees. In our case, yeah, it's employee. Okay, so make sure your table name employee, where, okay, your column name is e underscore name, right? Then use operator wildcard character, sorry, like, and use single quotation type r, then percentage, then R, then semicolon. So if you wanted to search by a single character, you need to make sure that you need to enter a wildcard percentage at the end of the character, and then if you run this one, you will be going to extract only two records, will be Rakesh and the Rishi. So let's check that one. So like this, you can extract only those records whose name is beginning with R later. Not only this thing, but apart from this thing, apart from this way, you can run it with different way. So if you wanted to extract by the age as well, you can run that as well. So let's check that how you can extract the name from the age as well. So for that, how you will do, you can run one of the query like this: select star from employee, where e underscore age, like, right? And we're going to type right 3, like 3, and then semicolon. Let's see how we're going to extract information. So there were no name found over here. Oh, we forgot to mention actually over here. So let's see. So now you see, so from this we were able to find those employees records whose age were starting with the 3 number, whether it is a 30, 35, or whatever number it is from the database. So we were able to extract those things. So this is how you can use the like operator and you can extract the information. Let's take an example. For an example, if you wanted to use a between, right, uh, uh, character, and how you can extract the information based on particular range. So what you need to do is you need to write query like this: select star from employee, where Okay, e underscore age, then use between. Okay, now let's target 30 and let's take 55. Let's run this one. So from this way we can able to extract the all the records whose of the employees whose age were between 30 and 55. We're going to change this one from 30 to 40, right? Let's take an example. So from this range we can only able to extract 1 2 3 will be the information of the employees. Apart from 4, instead of 4 we're going to have it 3 records, because our range of the age is having 3. As per this condition we have 3 of records which is matching with our condition, which is 40, 30 and 35. So let's run this one like this way. So from this way you can use between, and you can extract any kind of information. You can use different columns instead of age, instead of, you can use salary as well, right? For an example, if you wanted to use salary, you can use like salary, all right, and use 40,000, and let's take in 70,000. So from this way you can execute, you will find all the records of employee whose salary is between 40,000 till the 70,000. So this was one of the example. Instead of this you can use any of the specific column based on this one. So apart from this one, what we're going to do use let's take an example like how we can use the some of the function, the aggregation function. If you remember the arithmetic in SQL, how can we use the various functions like mean function, max function, count, sum if, and average functions to extract the various informations. So to extract, let's try with one of the examples. So let's try with the one of the example, that would be the mean one. So mean function is gives the smallest value from the database. So let's try select uh, select. Okay, we're gonna write like this mean. Then let's take a target of column e underscore salary, because we are trying to extract the information of employee based on the salary, where the minimum salary of the employee will be extracted right from the all the records. So we're gonna type over here the table name, then semicolon, right, select, and then use execute, right? So we found only one records wherein it was only having salary of 40,000. So from this way you can use mean function. And if you wanted to use instead of mean function, let's take an example of max function. So for the max function, just you need to simply change this to mean to max, and if you run this query again, you will find those records whose salary is the greatest salary, right, from all the records. So this is where you can use mean max. So apart from this, you can change the column as well. Instead of this, you can select age as well. For an example, instead of salary, if you wanted to extract information based on the age, so what you need to do, you need to select that column, use the function max, and run this query. You will find the highest age is 47 of the employee, right? But if you wanted to count, right, certain things, so you can use count function. So count function is returns the number of rows that matches a specific criteria. So for an example, let's say if we look at it our entire database. Okay, so let's see, let's run this query actually. So if we run this one, so this is our main table actually. This is the record which we have it over here, right? Now if you wanted to count how many males are there and how many females are there, right, how you gonna do? So basically what you need to do, you need to use the count function, right? From the count function you can extract all the information over here, right? So how you can use, let's try that actually. So to try that, basically we need to write it over here, select, okay, select will be the command, then count, okay, in bracket we're gonna use star, okay, then from employee where e underscore sex would be the gender, that's why is equal to m, right, and then semicolon. So now it will be going to count those records whose gender is male. So basically in our case we have 4 records, right? So if we run this query we will find 4 as an output over here. So from this way you can extract. If you change from male to female, for an example, if you want to if you wanted to have a count for female, select female one, and if you run this query you will find one record, right? So this way you can use a count function. But let's take one more example. For an example, if you wanted to have the information of, you wanted to sum of the records, right? So you need to use sum function. Sum function will going to provide the total sum of the numeric value of the entire column, right? How you want to use it? Basically you need to write the query, right? How we are writing over here. So let's take that example as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this one, okay, and let's run our original query and see what records we have. So basically we have this of the records. Now let's take an example. We write again SQL command, okay, select sum in the bracket. You wanted to sum the entire salary of all the employees, right? So you write select sum in the bracket e underscore salary, all right, bracket close, then from employee, okay, semicolon, and run this query. Now we'll find the total of this amount, what is the actual salary given by company to all the employees. If you run this query you will find okay, there's a problem. Okay, 1 second, okay, there's a spelling mistake. 1 second. So let's run it again. So we'll get the sum of the salary. So this is the way you can find the entire sum of the records from the database. Another thing is that you can use average function. Average gives the average value of the numeric column. Let's take an example. If there are employees in your company, but if you want to find the what is the average age of all the employees working in the company, right? What is the average number based on this record? So what you do is basically you need to write query like this: select, okay, then use average, which means avg is the command, then select the column. So we are targeting the age column, so we're going to mention the e underscore age in the bracket, then from, then we're going to mention the table name, and then semicolon, okay, and run this query. So it will going to aggregate all this number and it will figure out what is the average number of this one. So how it will do, it will first it will do sum of all the records of this one for particular each column, and then it will going to divide by the distinct count of the rows. So let's run this one and it will be going to find, so average age of the employee is 35. And if you wanted to find in different way instead of the age, for an example, if you wanted to find by salary, right? So you can mention like this way, salary. So this is going to provide an average salary. What is an average salary given by company to all the employees, right? So standard, if you use this way, so this is an average salary number. So by the average function you can able to figure it out what is the average salary given by the company to all the employees, right? So this way you can use various functions, maths function in the SQL, okay. So now let's take an example. Let's look at few more functions. Like there are string functions, right? So we can use that. So what are those? Basically we can use ltrim, right? Then we can use lower, upper, reverse, substring. So we're gonna see all of them one by one, and from that we can able to use the information. So let's start with one of the example, right? So if you look at it here, let's take it run our old query again. So if you run this one, this is our database, right? And now for an example, right, you wanted to trim something, right? So let's do that. Let's start with one of the example. I try to write it over here. Select space hello world, right? So from this way you can see there are a couple of spaces over here. Now if you want to trim that, if you wanted to eliminate those empty spaces, how you going to do this? You can use by the function called, so if you run this one, first of all it will be like this one. There are a couple of spaces over here, right? Now if you wanted to eliminate those things, if you wanted to align these things, so basically you have to write query like this: select, then l trim, that is a function, then in bracket quotation, right, you can simply copy this entire thing basically and put it over here, right, and bracket close it, okay, and then semicolon. So from this way, okay, if you run, right, what it will do, it will align everything. So let's take that. So if you select this one and run this one, so if you see now, if earlier there were spaces but now it got elevated. So from this way you can align your records from the database itself. Now let's take an example for an example, if this is in the lower case, like this way, for an example, hello world love. Now if you want to make it in the uh, if you want to convert this one into the lower case, sorry, so basically if you see, we run it this one again, okay, and if you see, it's coming in uppercase, okay. So if you wanted to make it lowercase, simply what you need to do is you need to use the lower function, right? And that will work in this way. So basically over here you need to type lower, okay, simply. So this is the way I type it, and if you see now it is in uppercase. Once we run it, it will be in the lowercase. So this is one more function of the mat the in the SQL, which will be going to help us to make the records in the lowercase, right? In other ways, if you want to make it in uppercase, for an example, right now it is in uppercase, but some, let's take an example if it is in the lowercase like this way, right? And now if we run this one, okay, so if you run, it is in the lowercase, right? Now if you make it in uppercase, basically, okay, let's type, okay, now let's type over here upper, okay. Now if we run this one, this the record will be converted to the uppercase. So if you run this one, so from this way you can make it upper cases. And let's take an example. If you want to write something as in into the reverse order, right? So what you can do is, there is one of the example, reverse function is there. Reverse function will reverse all the characters in the string, right? So basically what it will be going to do, for an example, right, if we have some text over here, right, let's take an example. uh, we're gonna use this one again, okay. So if we run this one, it's hello world, right? But let's change this to, right, if you want world to be first and hello to be second position, what you can do is you can write over here reverse, right? Now what will happen if you run this query, the position of this two string will get changed, right? As of now it is a hello world, but it will going to change. So if you run this one, world would be the first, world hello, right? So each of this character will be change their positions, right? So from this way, it will be something else. So from you can make you can you can change the order of your construct from this query, right? This is one of the example. Now we have one more thing, which is the substring. Now substring is again very important. From the substring, what you can do is, yeah, you can use in different ways. So we're gonna see that as well. So for substring, right, let's take an example. Let's type, so select, uh, we're gonna type like, um, if you wanted to find specific information, right, what is the position, right, something over here, so you can use that. So now we're going to see how we can use substring. So substring runs in three parameters basically. So let's take an example. We have some strings over here. So we're going to write that, okay. So this is our string. Okay. If we run this one, first of all, okay. Now how can you use substring over here? So you need to write select, then substring, okay, in bracket, then type same thing, okay. So after this one, right, as I mentioned that substring runs in three parameters, right? So if for an example, if you wanted to find the dog word, right, from the entire string, so what is the index position for dog that you need to find? So starting from the I 1 2, right, 2, then 4 6 7 8 9 10, right? So 10 is the last position, so we're going to start with 11, then we're gonna type the what is the total, I mean, index value for this dog word. So we're going to type 3 over here because this is 3 characters, and then we're going to close this one, okay. And if we run this one, sorry, we need to put comma over here, and then we run this one, okay. So this way we can find the strings from the with the substring from the entire value, okay. So you can extract any of the value from the particular values. Okay, so now we can use order by clause, how it can be used. Okay, so let's see that. So now we're going to see the order by clause. So what is exactly order by clause? So order by clause is used to sort the data. It can be in ascending order or descending order depending on your requirements, right? And how we can use that, we're going to see over here. Okay, so let's start on that one. So let's see how you can use the order by clause. So let me remove this one. So for an example, if you run your old query right this way, so this is an order, right? If you see the order of the cell is not aligned, I mean it is not in the structure way. So how you can align this way? For an example, so you can use order by clause. You can type like select star from employee. Okay, then use order by, then in bracket e underscore, no, just e underscore salary, that is our column, right? If you run this one, it will be going to sort the salary, right? So let's see that, right? So by default it's sorted into the ascending order. For an example, if you wanted to order within descending order wherein the largest amount should be into the first place, so simply you need to type DESC, that is a keyword for that one, right? If you like this one, okay, and if you look at it here, this value will be the first position, right? So it will be in the opposite way. Right now it is in ascending order, it will get changed to descending order. So if you again execute this one, so now you can see from this way you can use the sorting keywords with the order by clause, and it is, you can apply the same thing with different column as well. For an example, if you wanted to sort the employees by age, right? So you can use e underscore age, right? So from this way you can find those employee whose age is great, I mean highest age. So this way it is the one. And if you remove the DESC, by default it would be in the ascending order. Again we can run this one. So like this way, lowest age is 25 and the greatest age is 47, right? Now let's see how we can use the top clause, which is used to fetch the top n records from the database. Okay, so let's check that one. So to get the top n records from the column, right, basically we need to write in certain ways. So let me show you, let me run this again. Okay, so let me remove this one and let run this query again. So simply this is our database. Okay, so how you can find top n records of the employee? So you need to write select, okay, then use top clause, then type 3, right, because you are looking for 3 records from employee, then again semicolon, and then the sums. Out of 5 records, if we run this query, you will get only 3 top n records, right? So let's see what got changed. So if we run this one, so this was the range of the employee, right? Sachin, Akash, Rakesh, right? And there is salary of them. And then if you run this top 3 employees, right? So what it will do? So it is sorting first 3 top n records from the database. So from this way, you can find the top n records from the database as well. And for an example, if you wanted to use order by as well with this top n clause, right? So what you can do is simply the query is correct prior part, but in the end part, what you can do is you can remove the semicolon and then type order by, okay, and then search, target the column. For an example, let's say age is our target column, and we're gonna use e underscore age, then DESC, right, descending order. So based on this one, we're gonna find, if you run this one, let me show you first of all. So this is our main database table, right, which has this many records. Now we are targeting top n employees based on their ages. So whatever the employee who has the highest, I mean the greatest age, they will be the one in the top n records. So as per our this information, if you see 40, 47, 35 are the top n records. So let's run this query. I hope it should produce accurate result. Rishi and Sachin and Rakesh will be the targeted one because we have given descending sorting order by the ages. So let's see. So as you see, from this way you can find the different information from the database using the top clause and the order by clause together. Okay, Simultaneously, you can use other thing which is group by, which is again very popular. So group by is used to get aggregated result with respect to a group, right? So for an example, if we run this query again, and if we look at it here, right, we have an example of female and a male, right? So if you wanted to find the result based on their category, how can you use that group by? So basically you can use like this way. For an example, if we run this query again, right, so this is our database. Now find the average salary, right, and based on gender, and it should be grouped by gender as well. So for an example, we have five records. Out of five, four are male, one is female. So aggregate the salary of the all males together and one female, right? So let's do that. How we can run this one? Okay, specifically we want a salary summation, average salary of all of them. So let's type, select, then use avg, then bracket, use column e underscore salary, okay, and then bracket, and then again comma, e underscore gender, sorry, which means sex, then from employee. Right now we can use group by clause, and we're gonna use for the gender, which means the sex one. Okay, so from this query what we will finding, we'll aggregate the average salary of male versus female as well. So if you run this one, so average male salary was 59,000 and female was this one. So from this way you can find the average value, right? As of now, if you see, we are not have declared the column name, that's why we are getting no column name over here, but we can declare that as well, right? Wherever we have mentioned the average salary, right? So if you specify over here, that should be named as a certain column, it would be in the certain format, right? So in this way you can also add order by as well. From the order by, what you can do is, if you add that, so it will be in the certain order. So for an example, you don't only want this information, you want information with age as well, what age has what kind of information, right, for the department. For an example, so let's type that. So we have average age based on department, right? So let's type over here average age, right, and then over here it should be department. Okay, let's see, the ept is our department. From employee, right, group by, we need to use department. Okay, and then we're gonna use again order by. Okay, and then we're gonna use average. Okay, and we're gonna use e underscore age bracket close, and then descending is our keyword. Okay, and if you run this one, right, you can extract the information of all the employees or whose average age is based on the department, right? So you can use the order by clause, group by clause, right, and average function. So you can use two clause and one functions together, right, this way. Not only this way, but you can use having clause as well. So what is having clause? Having clause is used in the combination with group by to impose condition on groups, right? So for an example, let's take an example. If we have certain groups, for an example, HR group, operation group, admin group, IT group, and analyst group, right? So how you can use the having clause together? So right, so we're going to see that basically it will be very important for us, right, if we want to target specific information. So let's run this table again. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we can type the query over here, select, okay, then e underscore dpt is our department, comma avg, in bracket e underscore salary, right, in again bracket, then as avg underscore salary. So why we are writing this one? From this as, which means whatever the average salary we find, that will be named as an column heading would be average salary for that particular aggregation, right? That's why we have mentioned as avg underscore salary, right, from employees. Okay, so employee, then group, sorry, group by clause e underscore department, because we are targeting employees based on the group. Then we're gonna use having clause, having average, means EVG underscore uh, average, in bracket we're gonna use salary, EVG bracket E underscore salary bracket close. Then target, what should be, it should be greater than 50,000, right? So let's take an example. If you run this one, okay, so let's see. So from this way you can find the average salary based on department. Okay, so not only this one, but if you can change, for an example, if you wanted to find by male category or female category, you can get that as well. So from here we have used the department wise average salary. What is the average salary of analytics, HR and operations, right? If you change to 1 lakh, you will get all the departments. Because I have selected 50,000, that's why we got only this one. So as of now I think nothing greater than 1 lakh. So let's minimize this amount. For an example, 5,000. So we're going to see all the departments together over here. So all the departments have this many salaries. Okay, and if we change this to 55 or something, right, it will be going to produce those records of the department whose average salary is at least greater than 55,000. So there are three departments. Okay, now we can use the update statement. So what is update statement? Update is used to modify the existing record in the table. So basically, for an example, if you have some kind of records, right, in the database, let's run this query first. So if I run this query, okay, this is our database, and let's assume you wanted to change the name of Sachin, right? So how you can change that, right? So basically you need to write a query. Okay, so what you do is like this, uh, update is the keyword, employee is the table name, set, now we're gonna use E underscore name, right, where, okay, E underscore name is equal to Sachin, right? So we're gonna use SACHIN. Okay, so this is our name which we wanted to change, E underscore name. Okay, so from this way, where age, okay, so let's see that first. So basically where the name is Sachin, right? So if we wanted to change their name, right, so let's change this query. Instead of the name, we need to use over here E underscore age, right? So age is the key point over here. We are targeting, let's take an example, 40 is the age as per the data over here, and where the name is Sachin, right? So what we're gonna do from here, if you look at it, right, Sachin is 40 years of age. He wanted to change to 45, right? So if we run this query, right, okay, this record, particularly first record where the Sachin is the name and age is 40, it will be going to change by 45. So let's run this query. Okay, let's see what we got it over here. It is okay. Oh, sorry, there is a one quotation we need to put over here. Now it should update. Okay, so let's see, one row got affected. So now if you see, okay, if I run this query, you see Sachin's age got changed. And simultaneously, if you wanted to change the name of Sachin, for example, let's take a name. For an example, you wanted to change the name of Sachin, right, is equal to, this is the name, right? Now let's type the age as, okay, age is 45. Okay, now instead of Sachin, you can use you can use a different name. For an example, Amit. Okay, so instead of Sachin, we want name as an Amit. So if we run this query, this particular first row where the age is 45, right, and the name, it will get changed with the name as Amit instead of Sachin. So let's run this query, right? So one row affected, which means query got worked. And let's select this command and run this one. So this way, if you see, now Sachin's name got changed with Amit's name, right? So this way you can change the name, but we need to make sure that whatever the value, filter value which you are targeting, that need to be unique. For an example, if there is again there would be one more row or records whose age is 45, and if you are replacing the name, right, with based on the age, so that will affect all the records whose whose age is same 45. So you need to make sure that target only specific value which is unique one in the database. So you should be very sure what is the information you have in your database and what unique filter you are applying in your point, right? And from that point you can ideally apply the correct information over here, right? So from this way you can use update as well. There are ample of other examples. You can change the department names and whatever you want to do. So this is the way you can use the update statement as well. Okay, now we're gonna see delete statement. What is delete statement in SQL? Delete statement is used to delete the existing records in the table, right? So how you can delete the record from the table? Okay, we're gonna see that. So let's take an example. This is our database, right? And if you want to delete a particular records based on age, right? So what you can do is like write it like this way: delete statement, delete from employee, right? Where e underscore age is equal to, let's take an example of 25. Let's say 35. Okay, so based on 35, if we run this one, this admin record will going to be deleted. Okay, so let's run this one. So if you see, one row affected. Now if we run the select star from query and let's see. So earlier we had 5 records. Now if you see, we have only 4 records. Don't look at to the id because it is manually we have given, but if you look at to this id, so this is centrally aligned. Otherwise this is because this is automatically coming and this is what we have declared. So from this id we can find that one of the record which id was having 3, it got deleted, right? So from this way you can delete any of the records based on the age, based on the department. You just need to change the where clause, which is a condition. So we given condition as age 35, so those record got deleted. If I tapped over here, for an example, the dpt is equal to admin, that record got also deleted over here. So whatever information you are targeting that need to be deleted, you can delete that as well. Okay, so this way it's work, right? So let me run this query again and let me add that record which we have deleted over here. Okay, so now if you see, we again put it back that records, and if you run this query, okay, so we have the record back it over here. So this how the delete statement work. Okay, so let me show you how you can use instead of age, for an example, if you are using name, right? So let's take an e underscore name, right? Now if you're targeting name, for an example, uh, last, right, which is Rishi, second last, right? So let me type Rishi. Okay, now if you see, we have 5 records, second last will be going to deleted. Okay, let me execute this one. Once row affected, select star from employee. So if you see, Rishi is not available. So from this way you can target any of the records which you want to delete and it will be going to delete it. Okay, so this how it works actually. In this way you can delete any specific records based on your requirement with the delete statement, right? Now we're gonna use the truncate one. How you can use the truncate, that we're gonna see. So truncate statement delete all the data inside the tables, and it is very critical. Make sure whenever you are running it, it need to be very careful. Most of the it is not allowed to run with that. So let's see how you can delete the entire records from the table, right? With the truncate, right? So let's type truncate truncate table and the name of the table employee. So if you see by writing this way, if we run this query, all the records which are present in the employee table, that will be going to deleted, right? So see, it got deleted. And let's run this query, and if you see, it should not have any records over there. So if you see, all the records were removed over here. So the specialty of this command is that it will be eliminate or it will remove all the records, but the headings will be remain there that as it is. So it is a specialty of truncate, right? From this way you can delete all the records from the system itself. Okay, so I hope you like it, and let's see again, we run this query. So if we run this query, we will have it all our records again back in the position. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and so now after this one we gonna going to make a video on the joins. So joins are again very popular in SQL. Basically, you may have the question in future when you are appearing for the interview for the SQL part. They may ask you that how many joins are there, right? So you can answer that way. We have inner join, we have left join, then we have right join and the full join. What is all those things that we're gonna cover in next video. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you like this video, and we request you to please like, subscribe, and follow our channel, okay, for more interesting video like this one. Thank you so much, guys.